News, the Alabama 2020 vote.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us for WDHN News at 10 o'clock. We begin with breaking news. Tommy Tuberville, Coach Tuberville, has defeated incumbent Democratic Senator Doug Jones for Alabama's U.S. Senate seat. In fact, we will go and get some more results in regard to that. We begin tonight with a look at the race for Alabama's House of Representatives District Seat number 2. Current numbers have Barry Moore in the lead. And as you can see there, it is Barry Moore, or I should say that's Tommy Tuberville, winning 615,000 plus votes to 383,000 votes for Doug Jones. And there we have the Barry Moore race, 162,000 plus votes to 95,000 for Phyllis Harvey Hall. Of course, Barry Moore from the Enterprise area represented Enterprise Coffee County in the State House of Representatives for about 10 years. Let's now go to Montgomery, where our Brantley Weatherford is standing live at the Barry Moore campaign on Pike Road. Good evening, Brantley. What's the latest from that state capitol race?
And Barry, good evening. It's been a long journey, but it's finally over. You're heading to D.C. How does it feel?
Well, you know, it's rewarding, obviously, humbling at the same time. I'm just proud for our team, proud for our people. You know, we've worked so very hard, so we're blessed to be where we're at. We look forward to going and serving the people, and, you know, we want to work, obviously, very, very hard, but serve humbly as well.
And I know back in the first election, it was, everybody thought Coleman was going to win landslide. Y'all fought back. What went into that to get back to this point?
I think the part of it is just grassroots. You know, I've always said if you'll campaign among the people, you'll govern for the people. And so we've always been amongst the people. That's how we went to we didn't have the money, but we had the willingness to work and the resources as far as grassroots to get out and reach people. So during the shutdown, we went live. We had a great media team, and we helped people with the payroll protection plan, what we could do to serve. And so we wanted that to be a picture of how we did going forward.
And I know another big race tonight, the presidential race. You're a Donald Trump supporter. What are you hoping to see from that? Obviously a win, but he's got a ways to go.
Yeah, I think so. We're starting to see some of those light blue states are starting to go red. So I think overnight we're going to see hopefully a good night for our president.
All right, thank you, Barry. Covering local news first in Montgomery. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Brantley. Now let's go to WDHN anchor Paige Weeks with some of the election results. Paige, what are you looking at?
Well, Mike, we have a lot of races to cover. Let's start with the U.S. Senate race, Tommy Tuberville versus Incumbent Senator Doug Jones. Of course, like you mentioned earlier, Tommy Tuberville has won over Doug Jones. Let's move to the Public Service Commission president race there, Twinkle Kavanaugh versus Laura Casey. Of course, that race is still kind of close, not really though, 56% to 44% of the votes. Let's go to the next one. We are looking at Alabama State Board of Education District 1. Right there, Jackie versus Tom, 74% to 26. Not a very close race in that regard. And keeping going, let's see, Alabama State Board of Education District 5, Tanya Chestnut versus Lisa Keith, 59% versus 41% of those votes. We have a ton more races to cover. We're going to keep you updated. Mike, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Paige. Now let's go to Democrat Dexter Grimsley, State Representative of Abbeville, and State Representative Republican Paul Lee of Dothan. Guys, any thoughts on the Alabama races thus far?
Well, they're going as we expected pretty much. I know some of them are closer than we thought, but we see that Mr. Tuberville won his election, and also Barry Moore pulled his election out. And of course, we knew that those races would be close, but probably as an end result, probably wound out the way we figured it would do it.
It's just as Dexter said, that none of those were unexpected. Everything was expected. The only question was just how large of a margin, or the width and the strength of those that were going to win. We still have a long night ahead for what's coming up at the federal level with some states. We're watching those close. We're seeing some numbers narrow down that started out wide, so it may be a long night, or it may even be a day or two, and hopefully it will not turn into weeks before answers are found.
Well, as every situation is all about voter turnout. If voters, according to which demographic turnout, it really makes a decision there. And we just continue to ask people to remember that voting has consequences. So we just look forward to see what the rest of the night turns out to be.
Thanks so much, guys. And let's not have a Florida 2000 election where it took basically weeks in the George W. Bush Al Gore race, in fact. Well, we got reporters spread out throughout the state and Wiregrass area. Here locally in Dothan, Ileana Capian is at the Houston County Republican Watch Party. Ileana, how are voters feeling as we get closer to the end of the evening?
Good evening, you guys. I am here at the Cellar in Dothan, where we were previously at the Houston County Republican Watch Party. Now, things have ended here for the night, but voters left here anxiously awaiting to see what the results will be for the presidential election. Now, of course, I did speak to the Houston County Republican Chairman Brandon Shoup earlier today, and he did share with me that he does not expect to see results from the presidential election until possibly tomorrow or later this week. Now, of course, other voters are feeling the same way. We've been doing cut-ins all night long where you have seen the Republicans are feeling very confident about Trump taking the win. However, currently still in the lead is Biden with the electoral votes. So, of course, they do need at least 270 votes to win with that. So we will just have to keep eye on that and see how things go. But, of course, WDHN will be keeping you up to date with the most up-to-date information as we get election results in all throughout tomorrow and the coming days as the results keep coming in. So just stay with us here on WDHN. I'm Ileana Capian in Dothan, covering local news first.